Learn English through story, the balance of virtue. In the heart of a bustling metropolis, there lived a man named Alexander, known for his immense wealth and power. He was the owner of a vast empire of businesses, a towering figure in the world of finance. Despite his success, Alexander's life was marked by a pervasive emptiness. He had everything: a luxury, influence, and a legion of admirers, but lacked genuine happiness or purpose. Alexander's daily routine was rigid and devoid of joy. His life revolved around strategic meetings, profit margins, and market predictions. The people around him were mere instruments in his pursuit of greater wealth and control. Friends, family, and even the occasional charity work were overshadowed by his relentless ambition. One evening, after a particularly grueling day at the office, Alexander found himself wandering through a quiet part of the city, far removed from the skyscrapers and neon lights. He stumbled upon a small, unassuming bookstore nestled between two old buildings. Intrigued by its inconspicuous charm, he decided to step inside. The bookstore was filled with a warm, inviting atmosphere. Shelves brimming with books created a labyrinth of knowledge and stories. At the counter stood an elderly man, with a kind face and twinkling eyes. "Welcome," the old man said, as Alexander entered. "What brings you here this evening?" Alexander hesitated, then said, "I'm not sure. I just needed a change of scenery, I suppose." The old man nodded thoughtfully. "Well, if you seek something of value, perhaps I can assist you. Our books hold more than mere stories, they contain lessons that could be transformative." Alexander, skeptical but intrigued, agreed to let the old man choose a book for him. After a brief moment of contemplation, the old man handed Alexander a worn, leather-bound volume. "This is a story of a man who once had everything, but found himself lacking in the most crucial aspect of life." Alexander took the book, thanked the old man, and left the store. That night, as he read, he was captivated by the story of a king who ruled a prosperous kingdom but was plagued by a profound sense of dissatisfaction. The king, despite his vast wealth and power, was deeply unhappy. His kingdom was in peace, his subjects content, yet he felt a void that no material possession could fill. Desperate to find the source of his discontent, he consulted the wisest people in his realm, but none could provide a satisfactory answer. One day, the king heard of a hermit living in the mountains who was said to possess extraordinary wisdom. Determined to find answers, the king embarked on a journey to seek out the hermit. After a grueling trek, he finally arrived at the hermit's humble abode. The hermit welcomed the king and listened patiently as he described his plight. After a moment of silence, the hermit said, "To find true contentment, one must understand the balance between one's desires and one's values. The answers you seek lie not in the abundance of wealth, but in the richness of a well-lived life." Confused but intrigued, the king asked for more guidance. The hermit handed him a simple stone and instructed him to carry it with him at all times. "This stone will remind you of the balance you seek," said the hermit. The king returned to his kingdom and began to observe his life with a new perspective. He started to spend more time with his people, listened to their stories, and engaged in acts of kindness and generosity. He began to appreciate the simple joys of life and found that his sense of fulfillment grew as he shifted his focus from acquiring more wealth to nurturing relationships and contributing to the well-being of his subjects. The story of the king struck a chord with Alexander. As he closed the book, He felt a profound sense of clarity. The king's journey mirrored his own, and the hermit's wisdom seemed to hold the key to the emptiness he felt. The next day, Alexander began to make changes in his life. He reached out to his estranged family and friends, offering apologies and seeking to rebuild relationships. He started volunteering at local charities and invested in projects that aimed to uplift disadvantaged communities. As Alexander immersed himself in these new pursuits, he discovered a sense of purpose and fulfillment that had eluded him for years. He found joy in helping others, and his interactions with people became more meaningful and authentic. The more he focused on giving rather than receiving, the more he realized the true essence of happiness. Months passed, and Alexander's transformation was evident to those around him. His once cold and distant demeanor softened, and he became known not just for his wealth but for his generosity and compassion. He continued to run his businesses with the same acumen, but now he also prioritized ethical practices and social responsibility. One day, Alexander returned to the bookstore where he had first encountered the old man. He wanted to express his gratitude for the book that had changed his life. To his surprise, the store was no longer there. In its place was a new building, and the old man was nowhere to be found. Alexander felt a pang of disappointment but understood that the real value of the encounter lay in the lesson he had learned, not in the physical location. The old man, the bookstore, and the book were simply catalysts for his journey towards self-discovery and personal growth. Years later, Alexander reflected on his life and the impact of the lessons he had learned. He had achieved a balance between his professional success and personal fulfillment. He realized that true contentment came from aligning one's actions with one's values and finding meaning beyond material wealth. In the end, Alexander's story became an inspiration to others. His life was a testament to the idea that the pursuit of virtue, kindness, and balance could lead to a richer, more fulfilling existence than any amount of wealth or power. And so, the balance of virtue became not just a concept in a book but a guiding principle that shaped Alexander's life, proving that the greatest wealth lies not in what we accumulate but in how we choose to live. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.